A 21-year-old protester was left blinded in one eye after being shot by ICE in the face with a less than lethal round, as they call them. I don't actually know what these are. I guess they're like rubber bullets. And of course, the kid got shot in the face. Now you can imagine the left is saying that he was just a peaceful protester. He was exercising his rights of free speech. Obviously not what he was doing. I mean, he was doing that to some extent, but he was interfering with the ICE agents. And I think this is a good lesson to left-wingers who want to protest. Like, it's fine if you protest, you do your peaceful march or whatever, but you have to be careful because these are federal agents at the end of the day, and they have the right to exercise their authority, in my opinion. Now, what I really want to talk about in this video is whether the force used was justified. Now, at the end of the day, I would say almost any, well, I don't want to give them, carte blanche to aggress on protesters any way they want, but I think ICE has the right to enforce their authority, especially when a lot of people don't respect their authority. I've talked in other videos in the past how at the meatpacking plant, I think in Nebraska, in Omaha, Nebraska, people were throwing rocks and stuff, and they were violently protesting. And ICE did almost nothing to, I don't know that anybody was arrested in that case. Well, any of the people protesting, there were illegals arrested, obviously, but ICE didn't, like I said, they didn't assert their authority, which I think they should do. Now, to what extent or how strongly they should do that, how much force they should use, you could say a non-lethal round is a good way to do it. But in this case, it ended up with permanent damage, and you just hate to see it. I just read the first comment. You can't see it. It's just dumbass. But yeah, we'll watch it. This guy's 21. I point out where he is. We'll watch it with that. So of course, these three are ICE agents. Now this isn't the kid that got shot. The kid that got shot is over here in the black with a megaphone. So just keep an eye on him. I know he's barely in frame for y'all, but he'll get in frame here in a second. Okay, so that happened pretty quickly. I actually missed that. Okay, so they grabbed this person in white. And then you could see the guy here with the gun. I'm not sure which of these two were the ones that shot, but you can see the kid here. I'm sorry it's so pixelated. It looks like shit. But you can see him coming in the frame. He's holding the white and red megaphone. And he's kind of rushing. You can see all the other protesters rushing as well. And I think that's what the ICE agents see. They see a group rushing towards them. And of course, they have to control it. And so they let off a non-lethal round. And so they see a few guys coming, and then one of them takes a shot. And it's point blank range, and it ends up hitting the kid in the face. Now, this is the thing I want to talk about. Should the ICE agent have shot him in the face? Now, I do feel like ICE agents are getting a little bit emboldened by the Renee Good situation, which I think, like I said, I think they should be. They should have the ability to assert authority. But I don't know if this is the way to do it. Like, I would have much rather this kid got shot in the gut or something, or like in the leg or something. He would have had a massive bruise, and he probably would have backed up either way. You know what I mean? Like, was this really necessary? It looked like a group of 3 people, maybe. Neither of them were a significant threat, I think. Why did they grab this kid? Yeah, see, like, my question is also, like, why did they grab this? Like, what was this kid doing? Like, how aggressive was he beforehand? I want to see the events leading up to this, but either way, if they grabbed this kid, he was doing something that they didn't like, you don't interfere. You let them arrest a person. Nobody would have gotten hurt. This kid in the black that got shot got in the way of danger and suffered damage because of it. Now let's watch the rest of the clip. There's not really much to it. After he gets shot in the face, he gets dragged and arrested, and then he gets taken to the hospital. So that's him getting shot in the face. This kid over here is still fighting. Mind you, this kid doesn't get shot. Oh, I think this person also got shot because they're down. But I assume, like I said, I assume they got shot in the body and maybe they have a massive bruise, but no permanent damage, I think. But this kid, as you can see, he's grabbing his face. It's kind of hard to watch, to be honest. He's bleeding from his face. Yeah, so hard to watch. And I don't like how people, like conservatives, are making light of the situation. The person who posted this is a right-winger, obviously. They say the Daily FAFO, Kaden Rummler, 21, earned his eye patch yesterday while attempting to stop an arrest, charging a federal agent outside an immigration building in Santa Ana, California. Rummler underwent surgery, but doctors could not find any damage to the brain. In fact, they could not find the brain at all. It seems to be completely missing. Overwhelming, heartfelt gratitude flowed in from the country, from all thieves, rapists, and murderers he so graciously sacrificed for. Oh, wait, that didn't happen. Like, I don't like this demeaning of people who get hurt. You know what I mean? They're still human at the end of the day. Yes, I know I'm a bleeding heart liberal, okay? I can already see the comments. Like I said, you shouldn't interfere with ICE agents. You shouldn't be aggressive towards them. You shouldn't get in their way. You shouldn't stop them. Just let them do what they're here to do, all right? They're here to secure the country's borders. And this is just stupid. Like, I don't know. Obviously, liberals don't believe in borders, but it's just stupid to me that you would protest this. Now, he's 21. I'm sure I believed some retarded stuff when I was 21. I know it's hard to believe. I'm 27, so I'm not that young, as some people might believe. But yeah, like I said, I just can't help but feel compassion towards this person. Like, obviously, he's an idiot, but he didn't deserve to end up blind for the rest of his life because of it. This is where it happened in Santa Ana, California, dude. Okay, I have to see it. Make sure I don't dox myself. I have to be careful here. I know there's some crazy people on the internet. So this is in greater Los Angeles area, I guess. I don't know if you would consider this part of Los Angeles, but of course it happened in California. Like, what do you expect? Also, like, are there riots all over the country? Like, or riots? I guess protests. This didn't seem like a riot, but are there protests all over the country over this Renee Good shooting? Like, how big was this? I don't know. No offense to Renee Good. Like, it's sad she died, but like, how big of a deal is this? I don't know. But yeah, let's hear what the kid has to say. Like I said, unfortunate that he got shot. I mean, look at his eye. He's mangled. Like, kid will never see again. Did he deserve that? No. Did he deserve some type of assertion of authority over him so that he could not interfere with the agents arresting somebody? Yeah. But I mean, it's hard to... you have to put yourself in the ICE agent's shoes. They're usually outnumbered. I saw a video. I should have had this up. I saw a video of ICE agents being outnumbered in Minnesota by Somalis and being told to get out. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Oh my gosh, piss off. I'm not going to upgrade a premium. Oh, here we go. Here's a good example. Okay. So it's hard not to put yourself in the ICE agent's shoes and think, well, this is a hard job, like they're not... It's easy for them to be outnumbered. And when people don't respect their authority, it's difficult to control a crowd. And as you can see here, there's a big group of immigrant-looking population. Not to racially profile, but I mean, they're acting aggressively towards ICE. Here in frame, you can only see a couple agents. I'm sure there's more, but you can see them kind of acting aggressively towards the agents trying to calm them down. Like, they basically run them out of there. Like, they're trying to do their job. And the immigrants, basically, assuming these people are immigrants, because why would you be so upset at ICE if you're not an immigrant, all right? An illegal immigrant at that. It's just cringe to see this disrespect towards figures of authority. Like, when you lose that respect for authority, like, what respect do you have for anything? Like, why respect the law if you don't respect the authorities that enforce it? You know what I mean? And look, they basically get run out of town. So when you see things like this, how can you not expect an ICE agent to... that was a group of 3 ICE agents. We don't know how big the crowd around them was. But when they start getting a little aggressive, when you try to arrest one person, you have to do crowd control somehow. And unfortunately for this kid, it ended up costing him his left eye. Let's see what he has to say.
K-A-D-E-N.
Oh, shit. Let me move this a little bit. Oh, no, I think that's fine, actually.
Sure. Rummler.
Okay, spell that, please.
R-U-M-M-L-E-R.
Okay, and you are 21.
No captions? What the fuck?
Okay. Tell us about just what hit you. Do you know what hit you, and what are you going through?
They called it a PSL bullet. We've tried to contact them to know what kind of metal it is and what it is, and they kind of not let us know. Like, my doctor tried to contact DHS, and they gave her a phone number, and then that person gave her a phone number, and that person gave her a phone number, and that...
PSL bullet? Pumpkin spice latte? I was about to... Oh my gosh, what the fuck is happening? Dude, I'm trying to record a video, you asshole. Okay. I was gonna put PSL latte. PSL bullet. Somebody already looked this up. Okay, well, okay. Surely it's not this, right? What the fuck? Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
That phone number went to nothing. And
or from what I understood, it was like a rubber bullet. He said it was metal, I think.
Dad went to the office and tried to ask them about it, and they kind of just didn't tell him anything. So.
Okay. Basically, I think they call this a less than lethal round.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did it feel?
I remember when it hit me, I kind of didn't realize what happened, really. I remember falling to my knees, and I remember covering my head, and it was just like this pressure and this ringing in my ear, and like everything just started muffling, and like I don't know, it felt kind of surreal in a sense. I felt like I think I had so much adrenaline from the impact that I wasn't really fully feeling it yet. I don't think.
Did you know you were bleeding profusely?
I felt like a lot of warmth on my face, but like I couldn't really tell that I was bleeding it quite yet. It wasn't until he started dragging me when I really felt it and knew I was bleeding.
What were you saying in that moment
When he was dragging me?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Wait, hold on. All right. No offense to him, but this isn't that interesting. Somebody said in the comments, he's literally the size of a child. 100 pounds and 5'1". Dude, what the fuck? That's insane. He's tiny. What the fuck? Dude, this has to be an exaggeration. 5'1"? At 21? Dude, I don't want to be offensive here. Are we sure this is a guy? Like, no offense. Dude, I don't want to be a prick. Okay. I don't want to be uncharitable, okay? This isn't funny. Like, obviously this guy is young. He's impressionable. He's been lied to by the woke left. He's been convinced to be out in protests, defending people that shouldn't be in the country. You know what I mean? He doesn't understand the concept of a border. Like, it's hard not to feel bad for this guy in multiple ways, all right? One, because of this incident, but two, because, like I said, he's been brainwashed. And obviously, it's the brainwashing that caused this. If it wasn't for that, he wouldn't be in this situation. And look, like I said, we've all been 21. Come on, let's be honest. I was a retard at 21. I'm sure a lot of you were as well. And if you say you weren't, you're probably lying. I mean, you at that point, your worldview is barely forming. What do they say? You're finished maturing when you're 25. Like you probably still believe like what everyone around you has told you. You know what I mean? You don't really have a worldview set in stone yet. So for it to cost him his eye to do this is, like I said, it's hard not to feel bad for him. I wish it didn't happen. I also hate when people generalize. Look at this comment. The very people who stockpiled their weapons because they don't trust the government are now perfectly fine with this. I mean, well, first of all, I'm not perfectly fine with it. Second of all, he's interfering with federal agents who already get disrespected on a daily basis. They have to assert their authority at some point. I know I keep saying that, but I mean, how else am I going to drive the point home? Like, these are authority figures. You're supposed to show respect to authority. And of course, people take it the other way and they're like, oh, so they're becoming authoritarian. You can see this person's retard. Well, they're quoting an Auschwitz survivor, but obviously they're trying to say this is analogous to fucking Hitler or some shit. It was not Hitler or Himmler who abducted me, beat me, and shot my family. It was the shoemaker, the milkman, the neighbor who received the uniform and then believed they were the master race. Karl Stochka, Auschwitz survivor. These comments are quoted them. Now look, obviously that's different, you retard, because they're not arresting people for their race. They're arresting people for their status. As a brown person, myself, all right? If fucking ICE arrests me, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm be like, that's fine. Arrest me, check my fucking documentation, and then fucking let me go because I'm fucking a legal citizen here, all right? The only reason you'd be scared is if you weren't a legal citizen. If you were an illegal immigrant, then yeah, obviously you're gonna... But this is different from being fucking Jewish in Nazi Germany, you retard. The government used to protect us from cowardly assaults like this. Now they're the ones doing it. No, they're enforcing the law and order of your country, you fucking monkey. Because imagine if this went the other way around. Like, if citizens felt so emboldened to do whatever they want. That's how you get rights. Because people don't respect authority. And they're like, oh, I can do whatever I want. People start looting and shooting in the streets and robbing and breaking into stores. That's the opposite of this. Now, I mean... I'm sure that's what liberals want, that their fucking cities burn down once every year with the fucking protests. I'm exaggerating, obviously. When was the last time we had a real massive protest? The George Floyd? But I mean, they fucking lied to us about that. They're saying they were mostly peaceful. So I mean, I don't know. Like I feel, like I said, I'm reiterating myself. I think at this point, I feel compassion for the kid. I wish this didn't happen to him. It's like similar to the Renee Good situation. Like, I wish the situation didn't happen, but like, what do you expect them to do? They have to do something. They have to assert their authority. You can't let lawlessness take over because at that point it's done. And just because you assert your authority doesn't mean the government is becoming authoritarian. It's becoming authoritarian when it's unjust. And they're upholding laws that are just. If you're here illegally, you get deported. That's the law of the land.
Recent clashes in Minnesota have shined a spotlight on harsh ICE tactics in cities nationwide, including against U.S. citizens who record them or protest their actions. One demonstrator, seriously hurt in California last week, is now telling his story. Video shows 21-year-old Kaden Rummler seen here with the bullhorn as he was shot in the face by a federal agent. Rummler told Carter Evans he is now permanently blind in his left eye. A warning, you may find some images in Carter's report disturbing.
I've replayed that night so many times in my head, especially at night when I try to sleep. It keeps me up. Sorry.
Kaden Rummler says exercising his right to free speech nearly cost him his life. Last Friday in Santa Ana,
Dude, what is this fucking desecration of the flag right here? What the hell, man? Legalization for all of the undocumented. Oh my gosh, how retarded is this sign, bro? I can't even begin to express how stupid this legalization. Now, mind you, okay, I have a very nuanced position on immigration, all right? I would be in support of this if it weren't for the fact that so many undocumented immigrants have a resentment towards this country. Now, I feel like it's an artificial like rejection. It's like a preemptive rejection of the country. They know they're illegal. They know the country doesn't want them here. And so they're like, well, I don't like the country. The USA is the worst place ever. Mind you, they won't fucking leave. You see this a lot with the Mexican community. They always criticize the US and they say how bad it is and, oh, it's the worst country in the world, but they'll never fucking leave. But of course, like I said, I think that's cope on their part. They're trying to cope with the fact that they're never going to become legal citizens, or most of them won't ever become legal citizens. And so they're rejecting the country. They said, well, I didn't want to be here anyway. It's like when a fucking girl rejects a guy. He's like, well, you were ugly anyway. I didn't fucking want you anyway. So that's exactly what's happening. And so if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't mind giving a path to citizenship to illegal aliens. Of course, given that they were hardworking, learned the language, could pass a civics test or whatever, could answer some basic questions about the country, you know, gainfully employed, all these things. Maybe some stipulations on like how much money they send back to their home country, things like this. Like, I wouldn't be opposed. And of course, granted, closing the border, like a hard shutdown of the border, like 0 illegal entries like this. You'd have to secure the border first before this even happened. But all this to say, like, as retarded as this is, I might see a situation where I'm in favor of it. Now, I'm not actually. The practicality of that is basically non-existent. Like, that's not feasible in real life. Shutting down the border to 0 illegal entries and putting everyone on a path to citizenship, I don't think that's possible. I maybe would be able to do it, me, in all my wisdom, if I was given like supreme dictator control of the country, like unilateral decision making. And I'd be like, all right, flood the fucking border with troops and nobody's coming in, and fucking start deporting day one, like all the criminals, all the fucking, well, I guess you'd leave the criminals in jail, but all the released ones, you know, we deport those. All the people without jobs, deport them. You know, just start deporting as many people as you can. People who don't want to learn English, people who have said they hate the country. Anyway, all this to say, like, this wouldn't actually happen. I know this person holding this sign doesn't think what I'm saying, right? This person's like, no, just legalize everybody and then open the border and legalize all the people that come into. Fucking retard. Anyway, all this to say, like, what the fuck is happening with this flag, all right? This is like a Mexican blanket with the stars on it. What are you doing?
Santa Ana, California, a planned
Disgusting.
peaceful protest in response to the shooting death of Renee Good in Minnesota turned chaotic. At one point, a federal agent is seen pulling a protest.
You know, you would think after the Renee Good shooting, they'd be like, okay, we got the message. We're not going to mess with China anymore. You know, you do your thing. You do your arrests. I understand you're here to protect my country's borders. You know, we're going to let you do your job. All right? We respect ICE now. And then they fucking do this shit.
From the crowd.
Like I said, not trying to make light of the situation.
Rushes
Bro.
after and is immediately shot in the eye with a less lethal round at close range.
I just started feeling like a bit of warmth down my face.
The video shows an agent dragging Rummler from the scene, his face covered in blood.
Dude, look at the drip, though. Dude, I remember I used to have a chain like that.
Not even light, and I never will.
Rummler says doctors found plastic, metal, and glass throughout his eye.
Man,
The
it's a
Department of
gruesome
Homeland
injury.
Security hasn't yet specified what type of round struck him.
My understanding is there's still metal lodged in your face right next to your carotid artery.
Yes, there is a few millimeters away. My doctor said it's a miracle I'm still alive.
There are some people who are going to look at this video and say, that crowd was charging these officers. They were
That's exactly what I said.
justified in protecting themselves.
It's a completely unacceptable use of force. There's a distinction between when an officer is genuinely threatened in a situation like this.
Imagine having to arrest.
I get what he's saying. Like, how genuinely threatened were they? Like, we didn't see the events leading up to it. It didn't seem like a big crowd. It seemed like 3 people rushing at them, maybe 4 people at the most. Yeah, like nothing they couldn't have dealt with. But like, I don't know. There has to be some way to do crowd control. Like what? So what would be the alternative? Like pepper spray or something? I guess that could be a good alternative. Like I said, I'm all in favor of finding non-lethal and, well, something way safer than non-lethal, like pepper spray. Like, how much worse is this than pepper spray? You know what I mean? Like something where you can do crowd control, but, you know, nobody gets seriously injured or hurt. Obviously is what we'd want. But, you know, this isn't an easy job, I think.
Someone, and also keep an eye on someone that's coming quickly upon you. So he had very little time to react. We're not out there to hurt people, but at the end of the day, we're not out there to get hurt either.
In a statement,
Exactly. I mean, you got to defend yourself somehow. Those are the weapons they have. Like I said, they have to assert their authority. They have to prevent a crowd from rebelling against them.
DHS says 2 officers were injured in a highly coordinated campaign of violence. Rummler was charged with
I don't know how I feel about that description. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say on that.
disorderly conduct.
Do you wish you'd never gone?
No, I would go back and do it all again in a heartbeat. I sit back when there's injustice going on.
Okay, well, you know what? He fucking deserved to get shot, all right? What kind of stupid statement is that? You would do it all again? You're fucking blind in one eye, damn it. Oh, dude, I fucked up my... Oh, my gosh. Y'all saw my fucking background. Now you know how gay I am.
I won't sit back.
Look at the blood. It's a beautiful background of Italy, all right? This is my fucking dream, all right? Now I have to talk about the fucking cortisol spike politics of the day and fucking retire in Italy in the mountains. Look at this shit. Don't tell me you wouldn't want to be out here just drinking your fucking coffee, looking at the fucking... What do you call these? Like the mountains. There's like a name for this area, isn't there? Anyway, doesn't fucking matter. Yeah, sorry, not to rage out on the kid here, but like, bro, what are you saying? You would do it all again. Like, do it all again. Oh my gosh, I can't speak. Dude, I need double jaw surgery. I'm fucking recessed as shit. All right. Why would you say something so retarded? You know what I mean? Like I said, I feel compassion for him, but like, oh, look at these these comments are right wing. It's funny how like they consolidate like in certain videos. Like some of them are all right wing. Like this one, they're like all left wing comments, and the other one's like all right wing ones. Dude, that Einstein must be a graduate of the Leering Center, bruh. How do you not get hit with less lethal rounds? I don't know what this person's asking. I wasn't shot with one. I was at home watching idiots interfere with ice on TV. Maybe that's what you should be doing. Yeah, I mean, like, bro. The fact that he said he would do it all again is problematic to me. Like, bro. The right answer is, oh, I learned my lesson. I would have stayed home and not mess with ICE agents whenever they're conducting their rounds or whatever. Well, I'm at a protest. I'm gonna be peaceful. Look, this person said she is now blind. Now, I didn't want to bring this up because I feel like that's just rude. Like, this person just lost their eye. But when the other person said they're 100 pounds and 5'1", I was like, is this a guy or is this like a trans person? Because that's awfully small for a biological male. You know, not to be like a prick or anything, but, you know, if this is I don't say that to be like, oh, I respect their fucking pronouns or whatever. I'm just saying, like, if this is actually a guy, like, that's hella disrespectful. Like, dude, are you a girl? Like, you know what I mean? As an androgynous person myself, I wouldn't want to assume, but I don't know. It's just funny that somebody brought it up, and I'm like, yeah, is this a trans person or quote unquote trans person? Yeah, see, like, this isn't funny. Like, somebody saying, we'll keep an eye out for him. Like, bruh, it's his or hers fault. She shouldn't have gotten involved in the sex lives, bruh. But yeah, I mean, that's the worst part about this, that this person didn't learn his lesson. Protesting out there, like, bruh.
This was closed,
Let me see if there's something interesting in this video.
and it was choking me, and I was trying to grab at it, and I was like, I can't breathe, I can't.
Do you know what's also a sign for me? Like the shitty beard. Like I said, I don't want to... Usually I can use like colorful language and it doesn't bother me. But like, dude, I don't want to be a prick to this person. Like, it is sad that they lost their eye. But like, you know, their beard is also like, is this transitioner?
Can't breathe, and he just kept dragging me and didn't say a word. So
What are your thoughts? What's going through your mind
right now,
I guess we'll watch the rest of this. I mean, I have nothing better to
I'm
do.
not really sure.
Gym's about to close in an hour. You pricks made me fucking stay instead of doing this shit. I have something to do in the morning. Dude, what the hell? Why is my father calling me? Okay, I'll call him back later. Dude, I have to run a 5K in like 9 a.m. in the morning, dude. Anyway.
So trying to remember and make sure.
At what point is this me just venting about my personal problems?
I get the details right and stuff, trying like going over it in my mind. I've been going over it a lot lately. It's, you know, kind of sucks having to relive it over and over to tell all these people, but it's something that I think needs to be done. So.
Were you given medical attention quickly? What happened after you were
No.
dragged into the building?
Once I was dragged into the building, he had me like down on the floor, and I remember seeing this pile of blood. It was like really dark, coagulated blood. It was like just like a pile bigger than my face, and like he pushed my head into it like this, and he's telling me there. And then with his free hand, he was on top of me, and he was putting my hands behind my back really aggressively and handcuffing me. And I was pleading with him. I was like, calm down.
Handcuffing me really aggressively, bruh. How are you supposed to handcuff somebody softly? What the fuck?
Please call an ambulance. There's so much blood. Please call an ambulance. I'm gonna bleed out. Please call an ambulance. He didn't say a word. He's completely silent.
Did he ever mock you? Saying, you're gonna be blind in that eye?
Well, that was when that happened. It was so people I couldn't see at this point, so I don't know who it was. But when they took me outside to go to the ambulance, which wasn't there yet, I was standing out in the cold, leaning against a rail, and they wouldn't let me sit because they were like, "You won't be able to get up." So they made me stand, and I had no shoes on, and I was cold and shivering, and two people were talking. I couldn't see them. I couldn't see anything, and they kind of like said they were like chuckling and saying how I won't ever get to see my left eye again, just chuckling about it. And
See, like, that's messed up. Like, the lack of humanity is appalling, I think. But I don't know. That's what political discourse has fallen to in this country nowadays. I mean, and then when you try to be charitable, you know what the thing is about YouTube? You try to be charitable, and then fucking people on the right are like, oh, you're a fucking woke retard. And fucking, I criticized Nick Fuentes on the video yesterday or 2 days ago. And then people are like, oh, you're a fucking Jew, and you don't know anything about Nick Fuentes. Like, come on, bruh. Like, you don't know shit about me, all right? How about you shut the fuck up? All right.
I remember saying.
Oh, but I was saying, I mean, the charitability, like, you try to, I can understand why people, look, as much as I hate Hassan Piker, all right, as much of a retard as he is, like, I understand why people get radicalized online, especially at creators. Dude, this is why I have respect for Destiny, all right? I know right-wingers, like, fucking get triggered as soon as I say I like Destiny, all right? Well, I say I used to like him, all right? Because after the Charlie Kirk shooting, he went a little bit full, like, fucking unhinged. And he started going insane on Twitter or whatever, talking about how he deserved this, or I don't know. He was saying some crazy stuff. So after that really put me off to him, I guess. But prior to that, he would have good faith. I mean, he had a discussion with Nick Fuentes himself. You know what I mean? He had good faith discussions with people on the right. He would disagree with people on the left. You know, he had the debate. You know, he debated David Pacman and Cenk Uygur. Or did he debate David Pacman? Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. But, you know, he debated Cenk on the Kyle Rittenhouse situation. Like, he was on the side of Kyle Rittenhouse. He seems like pro-capitalism, like free market. Like, he thinks for himself. He's not, I know he has this insane idea of vote blue no matter who, but like I said, he's charitable. The problem is that when you do that, you don't get support from your base, quote unquote. Like, you don't, like, people don't want to hear that, all right? They want to hear you say fucking your side is right 100% of the time, and whatever the bias is, whatever the message is at the time, like, they want you to side with that. So I'd probably get a lot more views if I was like, oh, dude, this guy fucking deserved to get hit in the eye. Why the fuck would you mess with an ICE agent? Like, hell yeah, MAGA fucking... I don't know, bro. This is the Jews' fault. But, yeah, I just can't do that, bro. Hell, if I had no morals, maybe. But it's just sad to see either way.
Shame.
So, and that was just me explaining why I'm, like, super... I mean, I don't know. I'm still sympathetic. I try to be, like, not a prick. I don't know.
Shame on you guys for laughing at the fact that I'll never see again. Shame on you.
Wait, who said this?
Never get to see how they again, just chuckling about it. And I remember saying, shame.
Oh,
on
this
you
guy
guys
was
for
saying back
laughing
to
at
that.
the fact that I'll never see again. Shame on you. And after that, they kind of shut up and went silent.
I mean, he's not wrong. Like, that is shameful. Like, you shouldn't be mocking somebody who has a lifelong injury at that point.
Do you know?
I was really out of it. I was just trying to focus on staying conscious. So I'm not entirely sure, but it was at least 30 minutes.
What can you tell us about your injuries now and the prognosis? Will you be blind in that eye for life?
From what I've heard the doctor say and everyone else, yes, I will be blind for life. They said my globe was ruptured. I had my lower lid was cut up, and they had to take skin from my temple to fix it. There's a lot to it. I don't remember. I have fractures in my skull that they can't fix, and I can't sneeze or cough because it's dangerous too. I remember also when I shot, there was pepper in it, and I had pepper down my throat, made it hard to breathe for a long time. They pulled a piece of plastic.
Wait, what did he say? The shot had pepper?
I remember also when I shot, there was pepper in it, and I had pepper down my throat. It made it hard to breathe for a long time.
Not sure what
They
he said
pulled
there.
a piece of plastic the size of a nickel out of my eye. They said I had shards of metal, glass, and plastic all throughout my eye and behind my eye and in my skull. And they also said I had a piece of shrapnel metal about a few millimeters away from my carotid artery. And they said it was a miracle I survived, because if it got any closer, if it hit that, I would have died that night.
Dude, why are there no
One
captions
right
on
now,
this?
you see
Yeah.
nothing out of the eye.
Nothing
It's
out of
black.
this eye. Yeah, it's black.
What are your thoughts on getting shot like this and the level of force that was used?
It was completely unnecessary. Like I said, I'm like 5'1", I weigh 102 pounds. Just
Dude,
to push what
this
was
guy
coming.
is tiny. Dude, you can't convince me this isn't a woman, bro. No offense, but I mean, dude, you're fucking tiny.
Like I said, I'm like 5'1".
Oh, wait.
Level of thoughts getting shot like this and the level of force that was used.
It was completely unnecessary. Like I said, I'm like 5'1", I weigh 102 pounds. Just to push would have done enough to get me back, and it's complete.
I mean, what he's saying is fair. Like, yeah, obviously he's a tiny person. Like, you can see him, but I don't know how fast the agent made his decision. Like, as you can see, he's not picking out individuals and being like, oh, I could take on this one and this one. He just sees a crowd, you know what I mean? And he shoots in the general direction of the crowd. I don't know that they, like, singled him out. I don't even know that they meant to shoot him in the face. They just shot. Okay, maybe, well, I'm assuming it's this guy that shot him. So, yeah, I guess he did mean to shoot him in the face.
Unnecessary to shoot me point.
I mean, I don't know. It's hard. You can't point out from this far how small he is. But yeah, I mean, I guess he's just doing crowd control. Like I said, I don't know that the size matters. I mean, unless you're like like a literal child. It's like a crowd is, you know, people are going to blend into the crowd. You can't take that into consideration. Hell, a crowd of people who are 100 pounds, 5'1", could still do some damage, you know?
Like in the face, in my eye, only a few feet away from me. I think he was trying to kill me.
Yeah, I mean, when you see him aim, there is, I mean, let me go back to the video. You do have to think at this point, like, okay, he sees him by himself. Like, does he really have to shoot him at this point? Like, I guess he does look like physically smaller. Like, you would be able to point him out. Like, it's not that big of a crowd. It's like hardly a crowd, to be honest. Not saying the agent shouldn't have done anything, but it's like hard to be on the agent side when it's true. You can see he's like physically smaller. It wouldn't have taken much to disarm him or get him out of the way. Like, as you see this lady back here. Now, maybe this is a woman thing. I don't know. Women don't belong in violent protests. But as you can see, she, like, one push, she's, like, freaking gone, like, out of the frame immediately. I don't even know if y'all could see that. Oh, it's, like, off to the side. So, yeah, you see this lady, she gets pushed. She's, like, out of the frame. She's gone. She, like, ran away, basically, which is when this guy got shot. And the crowd kind of dissipates. So, yeah, like, maybe he was getting targeted. Maybe he shouldn't have gotten shot in the face. You know, two things can be true at once. This guy didn't deserve to get shot in the face, but he shouldn't have been interfering.
I fully believe he was trying to kill me, so.
Will this change your methods going forward in terms of activism, protests? Is this having any impact on that part of your life?
No, I won't let it. I won't let them silence my voice. I will keep going to these protests and chant and do.
Nobody's trying to silence your voice, bro. You could say whatever you want. Matter of fact, you can go on Twitter. You know who was trying to silence voices was freaking the previous owners of Twitter. You can go on Twitter or on any social media and say whatever you want. You can go on the street and you go with your little megaphone. All right, I hate to be little because like I said, I'm trying to be compassionate here. But nobody's gonna stop you. You know what I mean? Like you only had hands put on you because you tried to interfere. If you didn't get in the way, nobody would have touched you. You're free to say whatever you want.
Do the chants and speak out and tell people what they need to hear, I guess.
Like I said, you can still say it. You could say it back then. You'll be able to say it in the future. Nobody's stopping you. What they're stopping you from doing is interfering with an agent and not respecting authority. That's what they're stopping you from.
No.
You're part of a group called Dare to Struggle, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Can you tell us a little bit about the group?
They advocate for social justice. They do
Bruh.
protest against police killings, like the one of Albert Arzola, the 19-year-old who was shot and killed by Anaheim PD. Right, I think it was around his birthday. It was really sad.
I don't know anything about this.
And protesting for Renee Good. And yeah, they're really good people. I would trust.
Don't mean to seem like callous when I say that. I'm just saying I can't comment on that because I don't know anything about that case.
Them with my life.
I read your father's heartfelt statement on Facebook saying he's a conservative Republican, you're a liberal
Well, he should have done a better job. How about that?
Democrat, if that's
Yeah.
fair to say.
I would call myself a leftist more so.
A leftist.
Yeah.
What's the difference? What the fuck?
but that he,
One's normal, one's insane. Like what? What's the material difference between liberal Democrat and left? Isn't that the same thing? Do these terms mean anything anymore?
he's in the rule of law and supports law enforcement, but says this was not right
Yeah.
and that people should be treated fairly.
Yeah.
How do you feel about your father speaking out for you?
That's fine. He's his own person. He can say what he want to say, I guess.
That's all right. I mean, I don't really fuck with him to be honest, but you know, shit, he all right, I guess.
That's all I have to say to that.
Guess
Bro.
we'll go to,
That's so sad, bro. Imagine your kids saying that about you. Like, I don't really care. He's my dad, I guess. I mean, we're biologically related, but you know, it's cool. He has a little compassion for me. I don't know.
John. And let me look this here.
Yo, cameraman, what the fuck?
Okay. All set? All right, can you spell your first and last name and just,
John Washington, J-O-H-N, Washington with the state. I'm a civil rights lawyer, and myself and my colleagues are representing Kaden currently and exploring all our options.
are you based here in Southern California?
Yes, out of Los Angeles.
Are you considering legal action against DHS? What's going on here?
We're currently investigating and keeping all of our options open, including legal action.
What is your summation on what happened to Kay?
You can tell, I think it's just completely unjustifiable use of force, and the force used was, about the injuries, was lethal force, and there's no justification for it in these circumstances. Kaden is a 100-pound, 21-year-old who's
5'1"?
Pipeline.
right,
Yeah.
who's only holding a megaphone and wasn't a threat to the officer. And we're still working out the details of what specifically Kaden was shot with, but it seemed
I don't know how you would define someone as a threat. Like, if someone's charging at you, surely they mean to do something, right? Sure. When he's okay, he did charge at the officer, right? Like, he's not, you know, he's walking towards them or running towards them. Let me see. Okay, I don't want to say charging. That's like a loaded term. But he is like quickly moving in their direction, right? He's not like walking towards them. He is moving towards them quickly. Like, how would you define someone as not a threat? You know, unless they're a literal child, like I said. But this guy's not a child. I mean, 5'1", that's still, there's adult males that big, all right? Hey, I watch fucking minimum weight boxing, all right? How big is fucking Oscar Collazo? I think that's the champion. I mean, this guy's fucking 5'2", all right? The fucking minimum weight champion, all right? This is a fully grown man next to fucking Oscar De La Hoya right here. Like, there's small men out there. And I'm sure he'd do some damage, all right? If I saw him on the street. So, like, how do you know if he's a threat or not? Just because of his size, you can't say automatically he's not. If he's moving in your direction, surely that's at the discretion of the officer, is it not?
but it's clear
It's their judgment call to make if someone's moving towards them, whether they're a threat or not.
that you cannot aim one of these weapons at someone and shoot them in the face, let alone point blank.
It was just a few feet away.
Yeah.
Now, this is a fair point. I mean, surely they know what weapon they're holding and how strong it is, how much damage it does. He also surely knew that he was going to hit this kid in the face. Maybe he could have done, you know, I don't know. It seems like, you know, not to criticize the ICE agents unnecessarily, but it seems like a lot of them have like a vendetta or some sort of agenda. You know, they like do it for, I saw a video, I think somebody said like, oh, I would do this for free. Like, obviously they have their reasons to it, their ideological reasons. It's not just a job for them. So you have to think if that type of mentality comes into play in these situations. Like, you know, you could see a lot of the comments, like people are criticizing this kid, showing a lack of compassion. Like, you have to wonder if the ICE agents are this way. They're like, well, screw these people, they're retarded, you know, they like have their list, you know, fuck the woke libs. You know, it's like an excuse to shoot a protester in the face, you know. I don't know. You have to at least take that into consideration. Not saying that's what happened, but it's a possibility.
Yeah. And it was almost instant from the footage I saw. You rushed after your friend who was being dragged away, and then almost like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it happened so fast I didn't really have time to process it. I didn't realize what it was for a while until I started dragging me, and then I started coming to realization.
What is your message? Do you have a message right now for anyone watching at all?
I think just that this is completely unacceptable. There's no justification for this use of force. There's protesters in Southern California and elsewhere trying to have their voices heard. And the irony was that Kaden was protesting excessive force from ICE and was brutally shot in the face. So this cannot continue.
They officially call it.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this. Like, I guess I could see the case made that it was excessive force. Like, I personally think it was excessive, but I mean, like I said, for crowd control, where's the line? Like, what is too much for crowd control? I mean, I showed y'all the video of the Somali crowd in Minnesota. Like, what were you supposed to do in that case? Like, start throwing fucking like tear gas into the crowd? You know what I mean? Like, And then they would have said that was unjustified force, you know?
A less than lethal round, but in your opinion, it was
Like, what were they supposed to do against the protesters throwing rocks in Omaha? Like, in fact, that one would probably be a case where they could use the non-lethal rounds because, you know, it's people launching stuff at them. But of course, they weren't getting anything thrown at them. At least not that I know. Like I said, we didn't see the footage beforehand. I don't know that there is any. I wish I had it. Unfortunately, I don't. But yeah, I don't know. Like, where do you draw the line when it comes to crowd control? You know?
was a lethal round. Is that what you're saying?
So less than lethals are called less than lethals when you're using them how they're supposed to be used. These weapons are not supposed to be aimed within a couple feet and fired on someone's face, and this appears to be intentional. I mean, you can watch it from the video.
If it was farther, like a few feet, like more than a few feet away, would the damage not have been the same if it hit him in the same spot? I'm curious to know, like, if there's like standards or something for this, like within ICE, like how these weapons are supposed to be used. Because, like I said, how are they supposed to do crowd control if the crowd is like within their proximity? You know.
So they're called less than lethals because they are still lethal sometimes, and that's when you're using them correctly. This is obviously not how you're supposed to use these weapons, so yeah, it's very much a lethal use of
Well, see, like, how's that obvious? Like, where are you getting this from?
force. And as Kaden described, it came very close to being lethal in this instance.
If shards had gotten into,
Well, I think there are shards. But
Yeah, they can't operate on it because the risk of dying is too high. So I always have metal shards in my head.
yeah, if they were to go into your brain, then that
Yeah,
could be,
yeah.
could be.
And like I said, I have that one still, and then it's right next to my carotid artery. We can't take that out. And also, we don't know if the metals have neurotoxins in them because they won't tell us what's in them. My doctors are worried about that, and honestly, I don't know what's gonna happen if they do have neurotoxins because, like I said,
This is a sick jacket.
I might be stuck with those metals in my head, and if they are neurotoxins, I don't know what will happen. Honestly, I don't know.
Is there anything else you'd like to
Kid
say?
has
that
swag, I will say.
We didn't get to.
I don't think so.
Not to be callous, but
I do want to say one more thing. I remember.
Hang on one second.
Oh yeah, there's quite a few things I want to say. First off, I remember when they put me in the chair at the DHS office, I remember feeling like I was losing consciousness, and one of the few things that I felt kept me alive and kept me conscious was listening to my friends out there still chanting and still.
okay, so who was getting silenced, bro? I mean, while you were in the hospital, they were still out there chanting. So it's not like anybody got silenced, bro. You know what I mean? If you were getting silenced, they would have started shooting rounds into the crowd. You know what I mean?
Keeping the energy going and listening to them is like that was all I could focus on, and that's the only thing.
Like, how do you not hear yourself speak and be like, oh, they were trying to silence me, but you know what gave me energy? Hearing my friends in the crowd outside, and they were still going. Okay, so how effective were they at silencing? And you think they couldn't have silenced them if they wanted to? I mean, if they were using the non-lethal rounds like as liberally as they could or as they wanted to, like, you don't think they could have actually shut up the crowd? But they didn't. So I mean, you just refuted yourself.
That really kept me. I think that kept me alive, is focusing on their voices. I also want to mention how painful it was in the hospital. When I did get to the hospital, in the ambulance ride, in the ambulance, when I got to the ambulance, when they got there, they covered me in a sheet, and I remember she kept trying to take it off, and they kept recovering me, and my friends thought I was dead because it looked like a body bag. And then in the ambulance, I kept begging them for pain meds, but they couldn't give me any because they need a doctor to prescribe them, and I remember screaming and kicking in agony in that ambulance right to the hospital. And then when I got to the hospital, they gave me, somebody tried to tell me they gave me enough to and I was still screaming and kicking in agony and sobbing. And I went through cycles of where the pain meds would work, and I'd be fine for a few hours, and then they wear off, and I would spend 30 to 40 minutes screaming, crying, and kicking in pain, giving pain meds, and it was a cycle. I've only been released yesterday. They had to keep me an extra day because of the pain and how bad it was. And they had to keep me another day because they were worried about neurotoxins, but since they couldn't figure out, they ended up just letting me go home.
So you were in the hospital total.
Yeah, I don't care. Like I said, not to be callous, I don't care to listen to the rest of this. Like, I get the idea. It's actually kind of hard to listen to. I mean, like, you know, how do you not feel compassion? Like how do you end up like these pricks on the right that are, you know, like, obviously this kid's been brainwashed, like I said, but like, how do you leave these comments like dumbass? That'll leave a mark. Oh, look at this. Look at this retard. I might be confused, but in the video, he or she just gets a fist to the eye, not shot with anything. Like, bruh, did you even watch a video? Like, these memes, like, come on, bruh. But yeah, this person's right. Like, the suicidal empathy is strong here. So anyway, there's not much more to say. I mean, it's unfortunate what happened to this kid. This girl? I don't know. like I said, not to be callous or anything, but like, bro, nobody's limiting your speech. You don't interfere with federal agents doing their investigation. You don't get hurt, you know. The guy that they were trying to arrest, the funny part is this guy is probably just fine. Like he was struggling and making a ruckus, and he's probably like, you know, probably got off scot-free. And the rest of his friends did too. They, like he said, they're still out there chanting and protesting. So how were they getting silenced? But like I said, you know, we were all retards at 21. I'm sure this kid, you know, is probably going to grow up. Unfortunately, if he had been given enough time, maybe he would have grown out of these ideas. But now he's kind of become a martyr for his own ideology. And now he's probably going to be emboldened in his ideas and believe them more strongly, which is unfortunate because he's wrong. So, but yeah, let me know what you think. Were they using unjustified force? How do you feel? Do you feel compassion like I do? Are you a bleeding heart liberal like myself? Or are you, you know, you think this was justified and this kid deserved it? I obviously don't think that. Like I said, the agents were right to use force where they need to, but I think this was a little bit too much force in this scenario. So leave your amazing, beautiful, thoughtful, high IQ comments as you always do. And of course, I only acknowledge them if they are high IQ because unfortunately there's a lot of retards out there. Follow me on Instagram at Punished Prince, all together. I saw some guy leave a comment in the last video and I thought it sounded cool. So I don't know. Maybe I'll change my name to that. We'll see. It rolls off the tongue a lot better than my current name, all right? I feel like it's hard to find. Like whenever you search it up, I'm not going to search it up. But whenever you search it up, it doesn't come up. You know, you get a bunch of GQ, like the fucking magazine. So anyway, that's it. Yeah, let me know what y'all think.